Good morning you all. Welcome to Buoyant Study Circle. Previously we are started the hereditary and evolution lesson. In this lesson we discussed about we learned something about the what basic things about that hereditary. Today we are going to know about the detailed picture of the this hereditary. Here in the previous class we are discussed on we learned on the chromosomes. So here how many chromosomes are present in a human being? That is the 46 chromosomes are present. 46 chromosomes are present. These 46 chromosomes are always in pair condition. Say they are in always pair in condition. That means paired means by 2. That is the how many pairs are present? 23 pairs of the chromosomes are present in the human being. Okay. So you should learn that in the previous class what is the chromosome, how the chromosomes are formed, all these things are we are discussed. Today we are going to know about the chromosome structure and also the DNA structure. So here this chromosomes, how many chromosomes are present in a human? That is the 46. Always these chromosomes are in pair. So 23 pairs of chromosomes are present. These chromosomes are like this. These chromosomes are like this. Okay. So this is the first pair. This is the first pair. And another one is the same second pair. This is the second pair of the chromosome. And another one is there. That is the third pair of the chromosome. Like this, how many chromosomal pairs are present in our body? Very good. That is the 23 pairs. This is the 23rd pair. This is the 23rd pair. All these pairs of the chromosomes are made up of with the genes. And where the genes are present? These are present on the DNA. So here we should learn about the chromosomes are made up of DNA, and DNA has a specific segment on that. These segments are called the genes. Okay. Here this is the total structure is the chromosome. Okay children. These chromosomes are having the DNA. These are having the DNA. So this is a very thick thread like structure. This thread like structure is made up of with the DNA. This DNA is having the special segment on it. These segments are called the genes. These are called the genes. Okay. So these genes are present in a particular position. These genes are present in a particular position, and each gene is responsible for the expression of one character. That means if the skin color is one of the example is the skin color, another one is the eye color. This all the color is mainly by the genes. These genes are present on the where they are present children? These are present on the DNA. That means this DNA has a specific segment. All the DNA is not responsible for the exhibition of the characters. Do you remember that? We told in previous class the total DNA is not responsible for the expression of a character. So it has a special segments on it. These segments are called the genes. These genes are responsible for the expression of the characters. Expression of character. What is meant by the here the what is meant by the character? What we learned? Character means it is nothing but the eyeball color, skin color. Okay. So all these are called the characters. Okay. These genes where they are present, for example this is the first pair of the chromosome. In the first pair of the chromosome we can hypothesis this part is responsible for the eye color. Okay, and another part is presented here. This is responsible for the height. It is responsible for the height. Like this all the pairs of the chromosomes are having these specific genes, these are responsible for the expression of the characters. These present up to the 23, but here this is the last pair. This last pair is, okay, this is the last pair. This last pair is exhibit the special feature that they are formed that can form the gametes. These can form the gametes. These gametes are the mainly two types of the gametes are present. What are they? They are the sperm and also the ova, or called the egg. Okay, that is the last pair of the chromosome, that is the 23rd chromosome. This 23rd pair of the chromosome can produce as the reproductive cells. That reproductive cells are nothing but the gamete. Okay. So this is about the chromosome. How many? 46. They are arranged in a regular manner, and 23 pairs of the chromosomes are present. All the 22 pairs are responsible for the formation of the all the body cells, but except the 23rd pair, this 23rd pair is responsible for the formation of the gametes. Okay. Here, if you are observe that chromosome, always they are in the pair. Along, how they are present? They are present in a pair form. This is the one and this is the another one. They are arranged as a pair. So these are called the homologous. They are looks like the similar. So they are called the homologous chromosomes. They are called the homologous chromosomes. Okay. Next one, after discussion of the chromosome, we will go through the structure of the DNA. DNA. Why we are learning the DNA? Because chromosomes are made up of with the DNA. Okay. So here this DNA structure is first discovered by the Sir Watson and Crick. Sir Watson and Crick. Both are discovered the structure of the DNA. What is the full form of the DNA, children? That is the deoxyribonucleic acid. This structure of the DNA is first discovered by the Sir Watson and Crick. On the discovery of this DNA structure, they are awarded the Nobel Prize along with the Franklin. Okay, here this in which year it is? In which year it is discovered? In the year of the 1953. Okay. How here observed? How they are observed? It is that they are observed the DNA is the double helical structure. It is a double helical structure. Helical means twisted. That is a like this. That is a twisted like structure. Double helical structure. Double helical structure. Okay. If I this double helical structure make the straight, it seems to be like this. It is looks like the ladder. It is looks like the ladder. So why I wrote like this? Why I draw like this ladder? Because here two strands are presented. Are you seeing here? Two strands are present. These two strands are arranged in the opposite direction. You should remember that. So one is moving downward direction, another one is moving the upward direction. Here two helical structures are present. These two helical structures, these two chains are passes in the opposite direction. You should remember that. So, and these helical structures are attached with each other. That means joined by. These are the joined by the phosphate bond. These are joined by the phosphate bond. So, here this double helical structure is contain the three parts. What are the three parts? First one is a pentose sugar. That is a pentose sugar. And second one is the phosphate bond. And another one is the nitrogen base pairs. So you should remember that. You should write nitrogen base pairs. So don't write the base pairs. You should compulsory mention the nitrogen base pairs. Why? Because our total body is made up of with the main source of our life is the nitrogen. So you should remember that. Write the nitrogen base pairs. Pentose sugar, phosphate bond and the nitrogen base pairs are present. These are the components of the DNA. DNA is a double helical structure. It consists the pentose sugar, phosphate bond and a nitrogen base pairs. Okay. How they are arranged? Here, this is the, when I kept it straight, it is a, looks like the ladder. This is the one of the strand. Okay. This one of the strand is having the pentose sugar. It is having the pentose sugar. And this pentose sugar is attached with the nitrogen base pair. It is attached with the nitrogen base pairs with the help of the phosphate phosphate bond. And next one is the, this is the another sugar, another pentose sugar, and it is attached to the another one, AC, T, and this is the G. Okay, what is the ACTG? ACTG are nothing but the nitrogen base pairs. Okay, so this adenine, cytosine, I am writing here, adenine, cytosine, okay, thymine, and the guanine, adenine, cytosine, thymine and guanine. So these are called the nitrogen base pairs. Okay. So here adenine and guanine both are the purines. And the cytosine and thymine both are the pyrimidines. Okay, adenine and guanine are called the purine and the cytosine and thymine are called the pyrimidines. Okay, here this is the one complementary chain. Another complementary chain is how they are passed. It is in the reverse manner. So in the reverse manner, this is the passed. Okay, that means here this is also the pentose sugar, but I am drawing like this. So it is a inverted position and it is upward. You can see clearly. Okay, this adenine, I am erasing this one because adenine is always joins with the thymine, In between these adenine and thymine, you should observe the two bonds are present. These two bonds are called the hydrogen bonds. These are called the hydrogen bonds. Hydrogen bonds can bind the or can join the both the purine and the pyrimidine, that is the A and the T. Always A only joins with the T. It does not react with the or joins with the another one. Okay. And here the cytosine, that is, here you should observe that. Here also like this. Okay. C joins with the G. Cytosine is joins with the guanine. In between the, you should observe that this is the three bonds are present. In between the C and G, cytosine and guanine, 3 bonds are present. In between the adenine and thymine, 2 bonds are present. Like this total, what is the length of the DNA? It is a very long. It is present in every cell. It is in every cell. Our body is made up of with the trillions of the cell. Each cell is having this pattern. Okay, this patterns. So according to the arrangement of these genes, according to the arrangement of these base pairs, our characters are decided based on the arrangement of this adenine, guanine, thymine, like this nitrogen base pairs, we are having the different type of the characters. Okay. this is about the DNA double helical structure. Okay, after that we should if we are having the same type of the base pairs in our body, why we are having the so many variations? Here I am using the word that is a variation. What is meant by the variation? For example, my nose is not similar with that of the another one. Okay, my lips are not similar with that of the another one. My eyebrows is not similar with that of the another one. So what this type of the difference is called the variation. So this means what is a variation? The different forms exhibited in a single species. The different forms present in a single species. That means the differences present among the species, that is called the variation. That is called the variation. Variation means different forms of DNA, where the different forms are present in the DNA, different forms of the DNA among the species, this is called the variation. So on the basis of this definition, you should know something about that. What is that? Variations are taken place where? In the DNA. So variations are taken place in the DNA. This leads to the differences. So I am not similar with that of the another person. Okay, this is called the variation. Okay, next one. How these variations are observed? How these different forms? Who proposed the? Paid pathway for who formed the laid foundation for the genetics. We are learning that is a variation, that is called the gene. But in the previous means nearly before the 1953 and before the 1800, they don't know about the what is meant by the gene, what is meant by the variation. All these words are they don't know. So after one of the main person is started, one of the most important person started to know about the nature, because of he is keenly interested in the biology. Okay, keenly interested in the biology. Who is that person? Can you guess? He is the Mendel. Variations. Okay, so variations, this word new characters which are built, we are having the newer characters. How these newer characters means this is also done by the Darwin sir and also the Lamarck, but how these variations are occur? How these variations are transferred from one person to the another, that means parent to the offspring, parent to the kids. This explanation is done by the Sir Gregor John Mendel. Sir Gregor John Mendel laid foundation for the how the variations, how the characters are transferred from the parent to the offspring. Okay, so he is named as Sir Mendel is named as the father of genetics. Again we are having the new word, that is what is that? Genetics. Genetics is nothing but the study of heredity. Simply study of genes, study of heredity, study of inheritance, that is called the genetics. Study of heredity or gene, that is called the genetics. Okay. Here what is the story behind the Mendel? Mendel sir is where he is a priest. Okay, and he a lot of interested in the nature. generally we are some persons, for example in this generation somebody's are wanted to become the doctor, so they are mostly interested in the biology, and some persons are they want to become the engineers, so they are interested in the mathematics. But here the Mendel sir has such greatness, he has interested in both the maths and also the science. This leads to a good theory, that is the law of inheritance. Law of inheritance. So, which theory is proposed by the Sir Mendel? Law of inheritance. This is proposed by the Sir Gregory John Mendel. So, before going to any experiment or any studies, you should keenly interested on that. Okay, that means if you are have the habit culture of learning with the interest. In Telugu we have the ishtamto pancheste kashtam undadu. Like that, he is keenly interested in both the biology and maths. So he succeeded. He succeeded in the genetics. Okay. What is he proposed? He proposed the law of inheritance. What are the laws are present in the inheritance? First one is the law of segregation. Law of segregation. Okay, law of segregation. And second one is the law of dominance. The law of dominance. And another third law is the law of independent assortment. Independent assortment. So, these three laws are said to be the law of inheritance. Okay. For doing of an experiment, Mendel sir need the one of the plant. He look over the surrounding plants and animals, but he is keenly interested in one of the plant, that is the Pisum sativum. That is the Pisum sativum. What is meant by the Pisum sativum? This is nothing but the, you know that garden pea plant, Bhatani, that is called the garden pea plant. Mendel selected garden pea plant for his experiment. Why he selected the pea plant? Okay, so many species are there, but he selected only the pea plant. So certain reasons are there for the selection of the pea plant. What are that? First one is, it is a annual plant. It is a annual plant. What is the reason behind? So many plants are also annual plants. Why he selected the annual plant? Because the lifespan of this Pisum sativum is very low. It has less lifespan. It has a less lifespan. So less lifespan means it gives the more generations. It gives the more generation. In a single year, it can produce as the number of the plants. So he selected the this pea plant. It is an annual plant and it is as a less span. What is another character? It can produce number of generations within a limited period. Number of generations within short period. Okay, why the number of generations are required? So if the number of generations are present, then only we can find the variations between the one plant to the another plant, isn't it? So why the Sir Gregory John Mendel wanted to do this project? Because to know the variations, how the variations are occur, how they are formed. So to know that, he selected the annual pea plant, because it is an annual plant, it has a less lifespan and it can, in the less time it can produce as the number of the generations. Not only these three, but also it shows self-pollination, and it may able to cross pollination also. So it shows the self pollination and also able to the cross pollination. Okay, and in naturally it shows a self pollination, but in the laboratory conditions, it can also show the cross pollination. So he selected the pea plant. Okay, and it has well defined characters. What is meant by the well defined characters? That means variations means differences. For example, if the Pisum sativum seed is round, but all are not round, some are wrinkled also. So this is the character. It is showing one of the pea plant is having the round, another one is having the wrinkled, and the some flowers are present in the axial and some flowers are in the terminal or the axial terminal. So here these variations are called the well defined characters. These are called the well defined characters. So these are the some characters for the choosing of the garden pea plant by the Sir Gregor John Mendel. Okay. And next one is the here we should know about the one thing we should remember again, chromosomes are paired, like that of genes are also paired. These genes are arranged in the beads in a string. Again we should recall, beads in a string on the chromosome, and these are arranged in a specific position. How I drawn? This like the pair. This pair of the genes present in a specific position are called the allele. It is called the allele. The genes which are present on a chromosome in a single position, they are called the allele. Okay. Again I am saying, a pair of the genes located on the chromosome, in the same position, same place, these are called the allele. But this character, this allele is not proposed by the allele, that name is not given by the Sir Gregor John Mendel. He named it as a factor. So allele is named by the Gregor John Mendel as a factor. Remember that. Okay, this pair of the genes which are present here, this is called the allele. These are responsible for the exhibition of a character. Okay, why I am saying here? Because next monohybrid and dihybrid cross are depend on these alleles. Okay, what is meant by the allele? Here I am writing. Allele means, and it is also called what you call, that is called the factor. This factor is named by the Sir Gregor John Mendel. Okay, a pair of the genes present in a single place on the chromosome is called the allele. These alleles are responsible for expression of a character. Okay, next one is the monohybrid cross. What is monohybrid cross? Before that, we should know about what are the well-defined characters taken by the Sir Gregor John Mendel. So here well-defined characters. What are the well-defined characters here? First one is the seed. First one is the seed. So this seed color is the yellow color, and another one is the green color. And second one, seed shape. It is a round in shape and constricted. We should write the wrinkled. Okay. Another one is flower color. That flower color is violet, or it is also called the purple color. And another plant is having the white plant. Here I am writing, this is the characters of one plant, this is the characteristic features of the another plant. So for doing of this an experiment, Sir Gregor John Mendel taken the pea plant by taking of the two different plants. These two different plants are having the different characters. Okay. Flower color and flower position. Here one is the axial and another one is the terminal. Next one is the pod shape. What is meant by the pod here? This is the plant. Okay, this is the plant. Here it produces the axial. This is the terminal. Another plant produces the flowers at the axial position. Okay, and the pod means here the pea botanies are arranged in a coat. That coat is called the pod. So this pod shape is also important. The pod shape is the one is inflated, and another one is the constricted. So here inflat means that is like this. Pod is like this. This is the inflated. Here we are observing the some notch like structures are we are observing. This notch like structures are called the constrictions. Okay, constrictions. And another one is the pod color. So pod color is one is the yellow and another one is the green. Okay, and last character, that is the seventh character, that is the height of the plant. This tall and another one is the short. All these seven well defined characters are taken by the Sir Gregor John Mendel to conduct the experiment, to know about how the variations are transferred from parent to the offspring. To give that knowledge, he done the number of the experiment, not not he succeeded within a 2 or 3 experiment. So many 10,000, nearly 10,000 experiments are done by the Sir Gregor John Mendel for explanation of this variations. Okay. And next one is the monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross. So monohybrid cross means monohybrid cross. A cross is made between the by taking off the one character with contrasting. What is mean the contrast? Already you know that. Contrast, what is mean? Contrast colors. So if the blue, pink contrast, orange, yellow, orange, pink. So all these are the contrasting characters. So these contrasting characters are taken by the Gregor John Mendel to prove his hypothesis. Okay, so in this for doing he selected only the single character, that is called the mono. That means he selected only the one well defined character. What I wrote here, for example, I will write here round seed color. For example, seed color. Only one character in the seven well defined characters, he taken only the one character, but these plants should have the contrasting. That means one plant is with the sorry, this is the seed shape, round and wrinkled. Seed shape, that is the first plant is having the round and another one is having the second plant is having the wrinkled. Okay. So in between these two plants he crossed by taking off the single character. So it is called the monohybrid cross. Here I am writing a cross made between two contrasting characters, single character. For example, here I am writing either it may be the round and wrinkled. If you are taken the height, that is the tall opposite, that is the dwarf and also called the short character. Okay, and another one is the, if it is the red in color and it is opposite character is the green, that he taken only the single character for proving of this experiment. Okay. Okay, so by taking off a single character, that is a two contrasting character taken by the Sir Gregor John Mendel, he crossed in between them. Okay, what is the result? How the result is appeared? For this, I am taking here the tall character and also the short character. Okay. Here first one is the tall. Okay. This tall is denoted as the capital T and short is denoted with the small t. Why I have written the capital T here? For any character is given by a pair of the genes. Already I told that allele means a pair of the genes present in a single locus, that is called the allele. These alleles are responsible for the expression of the character. Already we discussed in previously. That means here a pair, that is mean the one T and another T. So these are the pairs. These pairs are responsible for the expression of a tall character. So I have written the TT. TT means a pair of the genes. Okay. Why I have taken the alphabets? So alphabets means here for the easy understanding of the children. Here the scientists also taken like this. Alphabets are taken. This alphabetical expression of a character is called the genotype. That is called the genotype. Again here the two new words are coming here. What is that? Genotype. What is mean by the genotype here? That is the expression of a character. Expression of a character. Expression of a character in alphabet manner. Alphabet manner. Or it is also called genetic expression. Genetic expression of a character. Is called the genotype. Okay. A character should be denoted with the alphabets. These are arranged in the pair. These are called the genotype. For example, if it is the tall character, tall is denoted as the TT. Okay. And the short is denoted as the small t. If the round character is present, you can choose the R. So it is simply capital R. And another one is the round wrinkled character. So wrinkled character means you should take the small r. Okay. And another one is that. What is that? Color. That is a red color. Black color. That is a capital B. And if it is a white color, and you should write the small b. So like that, then the genetic expression is called the genetic expression. Here we are observing tall, short, black, white. All these are called the phenotype. What do we call? These are called the phenotype. What is meant by the phenotype? What is meant by the phenotype? That is nothing but the expression of a character which is visible outside. That means simply visible character. Visible character is called the phenotype. Visible character is called the phenotype. If the capital T is present, which character is exhibited? Outside. So TT is present. He is looks like the tall. If his genes are having the capital R, he has a round face. Okay. So like that, tall character, round character, all these are seen outside, external character. This is seen outside. So visible characters are called the phenotype, and this phenotype is present within our body in a genetic expression mode, that is called the genotype. Okay. Again come back to the monohybrid cross. I think you are now understand what is meant by the phenotype and what is meant by the genotype. Okay. So tall character, it is visible outside, tall plant. So it is a phenotype character. And how it is a tall? By the having of the capital T in a genetic expression. So the tall character is exhibited. Okay, here in the monohybrid cross, he made cross between the two contrasting single character. What is here the single character? Height is the single character. In the height we are observing the two different forms, tall trait, short trait. Okay. So here when cross pollination is taken place, here capital T, small t is obtained. How? Here the two are there. How they are come? Capital T, small t. In this way, from the parent to the offsprings, the genes will come, but it is not happens like this. How these are? Only from here capital T, and from here only the small t is occur. These are joined together. How it is formed? Again here one, he hypothesized and he proved. Here a pair of the genes are get separated. These pair of the genes are get separated before the fertilization. Before the fertilization. Here these are also separated. These are also the separated. This separation is, where this separation is taken place? It is, this separation is taken place in the gamete. These gametes are, for example, this plant, tall plant, if it is a plant, so we are not mentioning that it is a male and it is a female. But if you are mention the male and female, from the male and from female, males are producers the sperm and females are producers the eggs. Okay, these sperms are having this pair characters are in the gamete during the formation of the gamete formation. What are the gametes here? Sperms. In the female, what are the gametes? That is the eggs. During this formation these are get separated. These are get separated during fertilization. During fertilization, which is having the, which chromosome is having the capital T is male combines with the, from the egg which is having the small t is combines and it forms the capital T and the small t. I think children you are get it, okay? I think you are understand. Here the tall character, tall is one of the plant and short is one of the plant. It is having a pair of the genes, but these pair of the genes should not come to their offsprings during the fertilization. Here the fertilization means that is the combining of the reproductive cells. For the reproductive cells, they are get separated. They are get separated and form the single one. So here these are in nature of the haploid. That means N condition. These are always in 2N condition. 2N means 2 into 23, 46 chromosomes are present. But in the formation of the gamete, only the 23 chromosomes are present. Okay, you should remember that. Here, pair of the genes are having the 46. But when fertilization is taken place, here the gametes are produced. These gametes are having the single. That means only the 23 chromosomes are present. Okay, these 23 chromosomes during the fertilization, this capital T from the male, for example, if it is a male and it can fuses with the or combines with the female of the small t from the egg, here capital T and small t. If the chromosome is having the capital T, okay, and if this T, capital T, small t, and if the capital T may combines with this capital T, small t, if the capital T is combines with this one, capital T, capital small t. So all these are having the same genetic expression, that is the capital T and the small t. This capital T, small t, that is the tall character. Again the Mendels are get excited because even though he has taken the two different contrasting character, but he obtained the in F1 generation all are the tall characters. How it is happens? Okay, here he has taken the two contrasting character, tall, short. Here the both the expressions are there. Capital T for the tall character, small t, short character is present. But here in the F1 generation, he obtained all the tall plants. He is very much amazed by the Sir Brigadier John Mendel. Then what his conclusions by this doing this cross pollination. He concluded that the two law of inheritance. On the basis of this, he proposed the two laws of inheritance. What are that? First one here I told, here the formation of the formation of the gamete, they are get separated. This separation is called the law of segregation. In the starting of this lesson, I explained that law of inheritance is proposed by the Sir Gregor John Mendel. In this one, what I wrote, law of, what is that? Segregation. Law of segregation. Okay, law of segregation here in the monohybrid cross during the gamete formation. Here what happens? Two gametes are separated. Separation. That is called the law of segregation. Because of the separation, only the 23 chromosomes are present in the next generation. That means F1 generation from the parent. Here the from 23 and from here 23. How many chromosomes are obtained? 46. It may be get confusing to you children. So for the easy, I will make the another Punnett square. So it may confusion to joining all this. So I make the Punnett square, or it is also called the checkerboard. Okay. For this, first you have to select the from first plant. That is a tall character. It is having the capital T, and it is a short character. That is this is the first plant, and this is the second plant. Second plant, this second plant is having the, what is the genetic expression? Small t, small t. Okay, I think you are understanding. This is the first plant, capital T. Okay, segregation, and the small t, second plant, small t, small t. Now I am joining. This capital T joins with the small t, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, capital T, small t. Okay. So here the, what is this character? Mendel observed, he observed that the all are F1, all are the talls in the F1 generation. So here this is called the parent generation. This is called the parent generation, and this is called the F1. What is the meaning of F1 here, children? That is a filial generation. Okay, filial generation. Filial generation means here it is a offspring or kids, parents to kids. First generation kids are having the all the tall plants. All means here in the percentage we have to write the 100%. 100% all the tall in the F1 generation. Okay. He amazed. Again he conducted the another experiment, but he does not take the parent characters. He has taken the, now what we are obtained in the F1 generation. Okay, now what we are obtained in the F1 generation, this F1 generation is crossed with the F1 generation. That means this capital T crossed with the capital T small t. Okay, like this. Here this means first plant, second plant, third plant, and this is the fourth plant. In this all are having the same genotypes, all are having the same phenotypes. Okay, here I am writing what is the genotype of this F1 generation. What we have to write? Capital T, small t. And what is the phenotype of the F1 generation? All are the talls. Okay. Next, he amazed that character. All are the tall. Why? Where the short character is present. Where the short character is present. He hypothesized that he hypothesized that one of the character, that is the capital T, is dominant over that is the small t. That is the small t. Capital T is dominant over the small t. He hypothesized that. For confirmation, he went for the another experiment. Before that, I should say here what is that? Capital T is dominant over the small t. This law is called the law of dominance. This law is called the law of dominance. Okay. Law of dominance means one of the character is controlled the another character, or one of the character is dominant over the another character. That is called the law of dominance. Okay, children. Next, to prove that is really one of the character is dominant over other. To prove that, he taken first generation, that is the F1 generation is crosses with the F1 generation. That means in the F1 generation he obtained the capital T small t, but all are having the same phenotype, that is a tall character. Okay, again here also followed the same. What happens? Law of segregation during the gamete formation, capital T, small t. They are the gametes which are presented here, they are get separated. Here also they are get separated. So when they are do fertilization, now the fertilization, that means the cross. When the crossing is taken place, these two, then how the phenotypes and the genotypes are obtained. Here first plant capital T, small t. Okay, this is the first plant. This is the second plant. Second plant is also having the capital T, small t. Okay, capital T, small t. Then cross made between the first plant and the second plant. What he obtained? Capital T. Here in the second plant, capital T and the small t, and here also capital T, small t, and here small t. Okay. Now the character which is not present in the F1 generation is elevated outside in the F2 generation. So here two capitals. What here? If the two capitals are present, what character mark? That is a tall character. And capital T, small t, even though both are different, which character is exhibited? That is a tall character. This is also tall. Here the capital T is the short character. Okay, here the hidden character is expressed outside in the, this is called the F2 generation. F2 generation means filial 2 generation. Okay, here phenotype. How many phenotypes are exhibited? How many? 2 phenotypes, isn't it? How many phenotypes are? Tall, and another one is short. Okay, visible characters. Phenotypes are 2. And what are the genotypes? Here you have to write the, how many phenotypes are there? Capital T, small t, and the small t. Okay, capital T, one of the genotype. Capital T, small t, one of the genotype. And another one is a small t. Why I have written only the single here? Both are common, so I didn't write. Okay, how many capital T's are presented here? Only the one. How many capital T, small t's are present? 2. And small t's are 1. So that is the genotypic ratio of monohybrid cross is the 1:2:1. Okay. Here the phenotypic ratio is the Tall, short. How many talls are present? 3. How many talls are present? 3. 1, 2, 3. So, don't see the genotype. Only you should observe the character, a visible character, that is a tall character. How many talls are present? 1, 2 and 3. So, 3 talls are present. How many shorts are present? Only the 1. So, that the phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross is the 3:1 and the genotypic ratio is the 1:2:1. Okay children? Okay, in the percentage. So, in your textbook they are given in the percentage manner. So, in the percentage manner, how many? 25%, 50% and the 25%. Okay, here the 75% and the 25%. So, this is about the monohybrid cross. Okay, I think you are understanding well children. Thank you very much. So, ask more questions for better understanding. Okay, thank you very much. Don't miss to see the another parts. Stay tuned on the Buoyant Study Circle. Thank you.